Welcome back from the break, Rams. We have some investigating of our own to do into the games of this week's Pickem. First off, we have what may be an AFC title preview when the undefeated Steelers and Titans face off on Sunday. Erica, who you got?
I have to go with the Titans. They have Ryan Tannehill, and he just is so explosive when he takes the field. You know, he gets those passes to the end zone, and he really can just maneuver down the field, and he does it so well with Henry and with A.J. Brown. Like in this, I think that he does an incredible job just getting down the field, and he also can rely on Derrick Henry as well, with leading the league in rushing yards at 319. He is a block, like we said earlier. He is unstoppable, and I don't think that anyone can really catch him. He just is so quick, and he just knows all the right places to be at all the right times.
Absolutely, and I definitely agree with that. He is a force to be reckoned with, for sure.
Yes.
And he is my main reason I'm going to be picking the Titans for this game. It's first of all, it's going to be a great defensive game too. Mm-hmm. The Steelers defense is going to be all over Tannehill.
Number one.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Two undefeated teams. I mean, they're both doing really great right now in their leagues. But I'm going to go with Tennessee, and I think it's going to be mainly because they're in Tennessee, and I know that that's not really a huge advantage right now because there's not a lot of people in stadiums. But
actually, wait, I think they do have fans actually at this game.
They have like partial, right?
Yeah, a little bit,
okay.
yeah.
I just think, I just want to go back to Derrick Henry, though, because that is literally the person that I am going to be looking for that whole time. I mean, you say it, he's stiff-arming left and right. He is bulldozing over people everywhere. He had his 94-yard touchdown. I mean, he is already having one of the best seasons he could have. And he's now the first player after this last game. He's now the first player in NFL history to run for 200-plus yards in 3 consecutive seasons. 200-plus yards in one single game in 3 consecutive seasons. If that's not incredible to you, I don't know what is, because that already just blows my mind. But like I said, it's going to be an interesting game just because these are 2 very powerful teams. So it's going to be a good game.
It is going to be a really good game. I definitely think that we were right with the Titans, that they're just going to be unstoppable.
You can't count out Ben Roethlisberger.
Well,
though,
and him and Tannehill are actually really similar statistically. So that's going to be a great matchup, and I'm just so excited to see that game.
Yeah, it's funny because we've been talking a lot about these older quarterbacks like Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady, who are already having great seasons like they have been their entire careers. It's just funny because they're in the later stages of their careers in the NFL, but they're not slowing down at all, and it definitely is shown with Ben Roethlisberger too, especially. So
yes, absolutely. Now on to the another AFC showdown. Hometown Broncos will be taking on the Super Bowl defending Chiefs. Can the Broncos improve their winning streaks their streaks to winning in Game 3?
I don't know if you're going to like what I have to say, but I'm going to go with the Chiefs on this one. This one was kind of hard for me to choose in the first place just because the Chargers are in the same division as both of these teams, so I didn't want to have to pick either of them, but I had to. But I think it comes back to another player that we've talked about a lot already too, Patrick Mahomes. He is already a standout. He's been a standout since he's been in the league, and his connection with multiple different targets is the craziest part to me. He's not just targeting one single player. You have a lot of highlights of him targeting Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, but he also has players like Sammy Watkins, and he has great running backs now like Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and with the new addition of Le'Veon Bell, I mean, that offense is going to be unstoppable. And thinking about it, though, it's just their defense needs to keep it together. Patrick Mahomes and his offense can do whatever they have to keep getting points on the board, but if their defense plays like they did against the Raiders and they just let them kind of run all over them, there's no chance for them. And it's just interesting because their offense is already such a powerhouse. I mean, they're 9th in the league with 29 points per game. They're 4th in the league with passing yards, 14th with rushing yards. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. Hopefully, Patrick Mahomes can let his arm do his thing.
Yes, well, I'm going to go with the hometown, my team, the Broncos. I definitely think that there's going to be some points in this game where they're really going to have to step up a lot, especially on offense, not getting any touchdowns the last game. Just really, they can't rely on their kicker the whole time. And
well, clearly they can.
Well,
I mean,
yeah,
he's not
I guess
missing
so.
anything, so.
I guess so, but yeah, they want to score and actually get on the board with Drew Lock, and he's going to be looking for other potential threats like Judy and Lindsay. I just think that Drew Lock has to really look for those other opportunities than just throwing the ball for the end zone, because he likes to do that a lot, but he just, I don't know, he has to look for Judy. Judy, I think, would step up into that spot. He is a rookie, and I think he has the ability to do it. And at the beginning, he also was stepping up a bit, and I don't know, I just think that Judy could do it. And if not, then Lindsay can, and Lindsay carries 224 carries over 1,000 yards, and when well, that was last season, but when he does go over 1,000 yards, they are unstoppable. They're 6-0, and I just think that he has the ability there with Lindsay to connect with Lindsay too.
Yeah, we need to look better at the defensive side of this, because we both talk about the idea that if they can get in the end zone, if they can do this, if their offense is going off, well, if the defense goes off, there's no chance of them to do that. So for me, it's if the Chiefs defense, like I said earlier, if they can stick it to the Broncos and they can make sure that they can hold them back from getting into the end zone and force McManus to keep taking field goals, Patrick Mahomes is going to have a chance that he can get his points on the board and get his players hyped up and everything. So, I just think it comes back to the defensive side, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely, me too.
All right, and finally, we get our Rams in on the Pickem. CSU will be taking the New Mexico Lobos on in Canvas Stadium on Saturday. The Rams are listed as 20-point favorites. You trust in Vegas, Erica?
Yeah, I'm going with the Rams. The Rams, they just have so many, with the Lobos, don't they also have a new head coach as well? Yeah, so I think that this is going to be room to really show what Steve Adazio has in store for the season, and to see how the running game is going to change with Patrick O'Brien, because last year he did really well. He got 13 touchdowns and over 2,000 yards, and he can, without Warren Jackson, I think it's going to be a different offense. But I think that he's going to be able to rely on Thomas and Wright as well. So I think that he's just going to have to see other ways, and I think he's going to be able to. I really think he's going to be able to.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you. CSU is going to take this one, definitely. The last couple of times they played New Mexico, they've pretty much ran all over their defense. And based on the past with the Lobos defense, I mean, you look at them last year, they needed their offense to go off because their defense was just struggling all over the board. But the thing is, though, even with their offense going off as it was, they only scored about 22 points a game last season, only had about 190 passing yards, and just over 200 rushing yards in a game. But it goes back to their defense. They gave up about 37 points per game that last season. And their passing defense is beyond their weakness. So if Patrick Mahomes can hit his targets deep in the end zone or in the backfield, whatever it is, they're definitely going to be running all over this Lobos defense. Yeah,
I think that O'Brien, he just has to really look at the pockets and all of that. So I think that, defense has to be stronger.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how the season's going to go. I mean, whole new coaching staff, we got a couple new players, and we still have a lot of players that came back. So we'll see what's going to happen there. But like I said, the Rams have a better offense, and their defense is clearly better because Lobos' defense is just struggling all over the board. But who knows? Maybe their coach gave them a little bit of a boost, and they can finally get back into it.
Right.
But, yeah, we'll see. Bringing back some of their key players is going to be really big for the Rams, too. So
yes, absolutely. Well, Rams, that is all the time that we have left for tonight. Make sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at sports_CTV. Get updates on this week's game. I'm Erica Johnson.
And I'm Rachel Hallam. Make sure to tune in tomorrow night for your weekly fantasy advice from the one and only Hunter Fillmore.